So we needed to get the confidence of the experts and also build our capacity. So we set out to do workshops, brought together a lot of experts in various fields of medicine, special education, and disability management. We decided to look at other families also. So we set up we've had a couple of what we call national Cerebral Palsy family forums. We started to interact with homes, schools that are managing both CP and other disabilities. And we also have attended 5 international conferences on cerebral palsy in India, in the UK, in the US. And we have come to learn a lot. We have been able to develop a website which easily now is the most authoritative website on cerebral palsy in this part of the world, and we continuously update it. We have come up with a publication which we named the Roadmap on Cerebral Palsy in Nigeria. We've come out with a referral and care pathway which we formulated with a team of experts, which we believe, properly utilized by government at various levels, will see a new direction in what is going on.
Okay, you talked only to say someone analyze the roadmap.
Well, the roadmap itself is a document which identifies cerebral palsy, the issues and challenges facing the children, their legal rights, and even at the end of the day, we spelled out what the role of parents, the role of the society, the role of government, the role of the private sector in bringing about the change that that's necessary to make things different. And one of the key instruments of the roadmap is this referral and care pathway, which is designed out around a child with cerebral palsy, and where the first point of contact is the healthcare attendant at the rural level, who we believe if they understand disability and cerebral palsy, they will be the person to assure a parent who is living in denial of the need to take that child to at least the healthcare hospital. Now, the doctors you meet in most of our rural areas are not experts in cerebral palsy. But if we can also organize training for them, then they will know the basic science. And instead of wasting time doing tests after another, they would right away refer that child to a pediatrician who is in a better position to provide care and management. That pediatrician also, being an expert, would know the relevant experts like neurologists and orthopedic surgeons and ENT, whatever, all kinds of specialists, physiotherapists, operation therapists that need to be brought in to help to manage this child over a long period. And he's also in a position to coordinate this care management that will go on over a lifetime. Now, there is a need to know where the specialists are, and there's a need to pay them, which the average indigent family will not be able to do. And then we move on to government, and that's where we want government to get create a proper database of the number of families or children that are so affected.
How many children, or rather, let's say families, how many children are affected right now?
We don't have a database for Nigeria, but we at Benola, working with experts, have been able to extrapolate based on statistics that is available internationally. There are over 40 million people living with cerebral palsy in the world. And we have been able to extrapolate that we have more than 2.3 million people in Africa living with cerebral palsy. And by implication in Nigeria, with a prevalence rate of about 10.5 per thousand births, you're talking about over 700,000 children living with cerebral palsy. Now, whether or born with cerebral palsy, whether they actually live with cerebral palsy is another issue. Because the poor maternal child care that's available in our rural areas means that a lot of those children die. Because of the stigma that is very high in some parts of rural areas, the relevant care is not even given. And so, either by an act of omission or commission, a lot of these children die. So I can tell you the number that are born, but I cannot, for now, tell you the number that are living. And that's where we also need to work to build a database. So we want government to also provide funding for care, for drugs, medication for these families. We want the communities to be adequately educated so that they can be receptive and supportive of these families. You see, the thing is, if you have a community that is heavily sensitized negatively against childhood disabilities, and you have a parent with a child that is drooling, that has seizures or fits, if that woman tries to take public transportation to go to the hospital, no matter what we do at the hospital level to make sure that they get services free, the negative responses that they get from members of the public is enough to stop the mother from going out the next time. And that's why in our environment you don't see these children outside. When they're small, you can move them around, but then there's all the stigma. Now, as they begin to grow, they get bigger, they get heavier, the parents get weaker, and older and weaker, and so the issue of moving them becomes quite cumbersome. So, if we don't create disabled-friendly environments, public transportation and all that, and then of course a receptive public, we won't see this children.
So right now the government, but before I go into that, I want to throw the phone lines open. The number to call is on your screen. Please, the number to call, can we have the number to call on the screen? The number to call is on your screen. We want you to call in and ask questions. And let's know, I'm sure there's somebody out there who wants to ask questions about this. 08091770997. 08091770997. That's the number to call. So please call in and ask questions. Okay, I was going to ask that with all what you have done, how do you get your support? Where have you got it? Because with the way you're talking about the government now, it's I'm not sure. I don't want to. But how do you get? Have you been getting support?
Well, let me say that we started something that is different. That people are not even. A lot of people are still not comfortable with. And when as a pioneer, you will have to force your way through and do a lot of things on your own until you get to that level when people begin to understand and accept that you do have a service to render. So we have used a lot of our own resources, and then of course a few friends have come in at relevant times to help us meet bills, attend some of these conferences that I talked about. But essentially, it has not been easy. It took the first part of 18 months after we got the roadmap out and reached out to a lot of places for Lagos State government to come to our assistance, and they have recognized what we're doing. They have given us donated a bus.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Sunday, calling from Lagos.
Okay. Sunday, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. You want to ask questions? You want to contribute?
Yes, I love the program you are doing this morning.
Thank you.
But I want to ask the captain whether there is a specialist hospital that this cerebral palsy can be treated in Nigeria. And question number 2, what is the federal government doing to make sure they help people that have these sicknesses or diseases? And number 3, are there much awareness in the rural villages about this particular sickness?
Okay. All right. I'm sure you got the 3.
Yeah, thank you very much for those questions. I'm glad to say that in our hospitals, particularly the teaching hospitals, there is awareness about cerebral palsy and the range of childhood disabilities that are out there. And a good number of our physiotherapists in these teaching hospitals understand the issue of care and management. But whether all our doctors know about it, whether all our nurses know about it is another issue. So that's an area that we hope to be able to approach deliberately by organizing workshops and conferences for them to build their capacity. On the part of government, I was going to say that yes, Lagos State government has set the trail rolling by establishing an Office of Disability Management. And through that office, a lot of awareness is being created. Last year, in November, they had the first of its type disability fair in this part of the world. And I commend them for that, and I hope that this year we'll see a lot more action coming from that office. And like I said, the governor himself was kind enough to receive us in audience in July last year. And based on our plans and our for cerebral palsy, Lagos State has promised us a piece of land to develop a center for cerebral palsy. So there is a lot that is in the pipeline, but as far as people being aware, the awareness level is very low. And that is why one of our key points is massive advocacy. Because
let's pick this call. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Joy from Abuja.
All right. Good morning, Joy. How is Abuja this morning?
Fine.
All right. Yeah, you want to ask questions?
Yes. I just want to know if cerebral palsy it can be controlled during pregnancy.
Okay. If it can be controlled during pregnancy?
Yes.
All right. Okay, Joy. Thank you.
Well, you see, if it could be controlled, then by now cerebral palsy would be a thing of the past in the developed world. You see, there are certain things that happen in our bodies that we really have no control over. So that aspect of cerebral palsy that develops in the womb, there's little that we got. But at least if we have good antenatal care, and if we have good understanding of the care and management of mothers, if they enjoy the support of their husbands so that there's no trauma, there's no unnecessary worry that will shoot some hormones up during the time of pregnancy, that would help that also. But then after that, the delivery requires expert management, and as you know, CP can happen even up to age 5 when a child is mismanaged by either house help or in the course of normal play. They fall and they hit their heads and suffer trauma. Now, you heard also about illnesses like jaundice, yellow fever, meningitis, and so on. If they are not properly managed, or if the wrong diagnosis takes place, you could also end up in some form of brain damage that would result in cerebral palsy. So awareness is the thing, to get to know what can cause it, and to go out of your way to try to prevent it.
Okay, is government really doing you've talked about Lagos State, and somebody asked a question about the federal government. That are they really doing enough about cerebral palsy?
Well, it's not my place here to assess government,
Yes.
but the awareness level is extremely low. I
Okay.
am glad to say that in the last 2 years that Benola has started this awareness campaign.
Okay.
I have seen signs in the papers, through the media, online, and so on, that people are beginning to become interested. Even families are proud now to send us their pictures of their children. We get so much contact and requests online, by SMS, wherever. Unfortunately, most of them are looking for somewhere where they can manage to treat these children.
Okay.
And as I said before, we're not medical experts, so we're not doing treatment, we're not doing management. We do counseling for people,
All right.
and we're building up a database now of experts and places where you can get management.
Okay.
So as we progress, we will have this database on our website, and then we'll be able also to do referrals for people who call us.
Okay. Are there children with cerebral palsy that have benefited from Benola?
Oh, you see, there are so many positive things that are happening out there. It doesn't necessarily have to be Benola giving you money.
Yeah, it doesn't
Okay.
have to be. No, yeah, I'm not
But
talking
you
about
see,
materials.
the awareness that Benola has created has resulted in a situation that we continue to get feedback from parents and individuals who get better treatment in their places of work, better concern from friends and relations, and even some homes and schools have started to receive tremendous support from concerned individuals.
Okay.
Nigerian philanthropists in Nigeria who didn't know about cerebral palsy.
Okay.
I'll give you an example. Just a few days ago, Chief Emeka Ofo, based on a contact with one of our ambassadors,
Okay.
Uche Madueke in Open Doors School in Jos, made a donation of a bus to that school as part of the things marking his birthday last
Okay.
week. And this is a major boost to that school because with over 90 children, most of them indigent, they've been operating for 15 years without any form of transportation.
What's the school? What's the school? Is the school for?
Well, the school is called Open Doors for Special Learners in
Okay.
Jos. It's run by a retired professor of special education,
Okay.
and they have over 90 students there with all kinds of learning disability. But they do have a sizable number of them that have cerebral palsy. And
Okay.
this lady, Benola's ambassador, Uche Madueke, she's 39 years old.
Okay.
She's a graduate of special education from University of Jos, and she's on the staff of that school.
Okay. So, and she's an ambassador of Benola.
Every event we
event.
hold,
Okay.
whether in Lagos or anywhere, we invite her. She gladly comes
Okay.
and she speaks, and it is in the process of speaking at our event in Abuja last year, May, that the people from Emeka Ofo Foundation took notice of her and followed them up.
Okay. What other events Benola have? Do you have other events planned out for this year?
Well, we've done. I think we've done a sizable amount of work on building our capacity
Okay.
and also getting to know the relevant experts, getting them to understand and accept that Benola is out for good. You see, because when you're doing something different, at first people are suspicious and withhold the support. But in the last 6 months, we're beginning to get tremendous support in terms of manpower, specialist manpower.
Okay.
Nigerians who, and even some foreigners who are now offering their support, intellectual support for Benola. And so we have been able to put together some resource materials like information handbooks, manuals, and we're even developed some training packages now.
Okay.
with which we'll be able to do training for different levels
Okay.
of individuals from, primary school level to medical doctors.
Okay.
We have standard programs that we hold.
Okay.
That is, one of them is another day on June 14, which is our son's birthday.
Okay.
We interact with the press also, media launch, we do that once a year. We have the family forum, it normally comes up about middle of the year, about July. And then we have the World CP Day, which we mark an online celebration of cerebral palsy, which we mark in the first week of October. And of course, in December, we reach out to a number of homes and families with cerebral palsy. But in between then, we have plans also to attend a number of international workshops in the European Academy, and then the American Academy of Cerebral Palsy. Then, once we get the right kind of sponsorship, we want to start now massive awareness campaigns, online and otherwise, and then of course training, 1 or 2 day training workshops for various levels of Nigerians, including families and cerebral palsy.
Finally, I want to ask you, do you have plans to build a home? There's no home really, especially for cerebral palsy.
Oh no, there are individuals in Lagos, like the CP Center in Surulere,
Okay.
the Children's Development Center in also in Surulere, and the Anolu School for Children. There are a bunch of them. In Lagos, in Abuja, there's a place called Sea Child, and then there are individuals who are working on CP and CP related issues. We're beginning to make contact with them, and some of them are making contact with us, because we need to build a database so that people who call us from as